All right, guys, so we've come in and it is, let's just say 3 o'clock for our example, and we have nothing turned on. And what we want to do is turn the desk on first, and then we want to turn on the stage lights, PA system last. So we're working from the desk to the stage, and we'll do a kind of similar reverse order when we're coming to shut down. So what we want to start off with is the rack power conditioner down here. You turn that on, that's going to turn on the entire rack system, the Avion system, the wireless systems, and the system processor. It's also going to turn on the desk, which we just want to have everything, just make sure everything's muted once we start off. So once we've started with the rack here, we want to move from left to right across the countertop, starting with then our lighting Mac, of which you should see that small little light come on right there. Then again, moving left to right, we're going for the live stream camera. We're turning it on. And then up high, we're moving from left to right. The switch that puts on the 6-gang extension powers this light that shoots up into the dome, powers this PA system monitor right here, and it also powers the TV up above. And then again, moving from left to right, we have the A10 Mini is on with the power conditioner, and we're just turning on the power to this computer, which is a switch right here. You're going to see these monitors are going to light up. And then we're finishing up with the Mac for ProPresenter. Power's in the corner behind the computer. Then what we want to do is turn the TVs on, give it a good hard press, and it should come on, as well as the projector. Again, one good hard press. And sometimes it wants to, and sometimes it doesn't. There it is, there's a green light on it. And you'll hear the fans kick in if it's a hotter summer day. So you have the systems kind of on here. So what I would do is just log them in. So with our Macs, it is just password. Enter. And that's going to log itself in. Spotify and Lightkey will open up on login. Then for Windows, we just type in the zip code 81212. And that's going to log in. This monitor is going to take a while to turn on. This one comes on instantaneously. Then again, we want to do passwords because it's a Mac. And it comes on. So at this point, then you've successfully turned on the desk setup. You have everything going, signal sending to the stage. So we don't have any pops or bangs or hisses. Moving them forward, we've come from the desk and we want to come down to the stage front. And then again, we're working from stage front to stage back. And we want to turn on this little rocker switch. It's on this side of the wedge right here. You want to turn it on because it's an active speaker, has its own amp built in. And the reason we use this, and it's important to turn this on, is it fills this kind of V shape in the front 2 rows because of how shallow the room is. These guys and these guys all shoot past that. So we got to turn it on for here, but then it also shoots up into the balcony space as well. So this is an important thing to turn on. It's also good to be aware of. We then have a rocker switch here, which I've just turned on. It's a 6-gang extension. And then it's going to do all these stage lights and this back speed rail of stage lights up here. And you're going to hear the fans kick in right now. So fans are going. And then what you want to do is come in the back of the drum booth. And I don't know if you're going to see very much here, but you come in and another 6-gang extension that turns on the drum lights, the overhead bar in the drum, and things like that. There it is. With it all lit up. It's going to do different colors because it's not getting signal yet. And last but not least, this is the most important thing. So we turn our PA on last. And so what it does is it turns on the amps here, which power our passive speakers out front. And you're good to go. And if you're stuck, we have another sheet of a startup reminder right here. So now we're back at the desk and we've everything turned on, and what we want to do is we'll come to Lightkey right here and we're just going to hit cancel. And you're going to see the lights are going to come on. That means signal is going out from Lightkey down our DMX to all our lights, and you're going to hear these moving headlights are going to spin and turn on. There they go. And now we have the stage is lit, backlight and front light. All lights are important on stage. It's good not to miss any of those out. So that's rolling, and we have Spotify down here beside it, and Spotify is working away. You're then coming, and we're seeing that this monitor still isn't turned on. So this happens, this takes a while. Once it's on, it's reliable, but it can take some time. So one of the things we can do is just hit OBS, and we can open Chrome. Because those are two applications that we need to live stream with. And we've got ProPresenter open. And I am just going to hit the top. Now we have an update. I'm just going to close that. If we were pre-service, we don't want to update. We want to update during the week. Unless you're real confident with updating stuff and downgrading if you need to. So that is running our rolling notices. And we'll see we'll have it up on the projection screen. And now we also have the stage display on the TV, which comes up signal through this 5 cable loom right here. So when the other screen does come on and you have both Chrome and OBS open, what you want to do is go to View and go to Multi-View Windowed. Slide the multi-view onto the screen and then hold Control and arrow key, and there you go. So we now have a multi-view on one side and we have Chrome open on the other. So Chrome's ready for YouTube, and we get all that sorted. OBS is ready, ProPresenter's ready, so everything is ready to go. So now we're taking it from the point of view that it's the end of the service, it's just over. We have some background music playing right now. The service is just finished, and we're on our rolling notices at the end of ProPresenter. And all it's putting out is ProPresenter 7 audio. So it's just stream audio. This audio never hits the desk to go into the house, because you can see I have separate audio here. So what's going to happen is you're going to want to leave this for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, this start live stream button will say end live stream. When we were doing the real service, you're going to want to end it. That's good. This is going to come up with a display that says how many people watched it, how long they watched it for, etc. That's okay, just take note of it. But you're happy then to just go close. And you can then come to OBS, close, nothing to save. And then we just do the start, power, and shut down. So that's the first thing you can do, because it doesn't affect anything in the house. And so whilst then there's people around, in the room, you can do little things like turn off the live stream camera, because that's not needed. And then as people are kind of sitting talking, what I like to do is just watch how many people's in the room, if they're enjoying themselves or if they're ministering to one another, how loud to keep the volume off the music. It's actually quite important to create congregation and communication between one another. So always be mindful that if you're running sound, listen to this at the end of service, especially if it's too loud for you to have a conversation with someone behind you here. It's probably too loud to have a conversation over by that wedge, over by this speaker. So always be mindful of that, but also don't have it too quiet like this. So you've got your music going and lights on, stage display is on. So the next thing you want to do is when people start to peter out is take your controller and turn off your projector. If I get the angle, there you go. And because that's off, we can just go to ProPresenter, because that is no longer needed, because the live stream's off, the projector is off, and we just want to hit shut down. Shut down. Are you sure you want to quit ProPresenter? Yes. And we're shutting down. So then this computer's done, and this computer's done, this camera's done, and then we're still just watching the room. What I like to do next is, if there's still people kind of congregating, but it's the usual folks that we normally have, is if you come, the least distracting things is what we turn off first. We want to turn off the drum lights. And we want to turn them off with the system still sending signal when it's lights, because it allows us to know that we definitely turned them off, because we could turn the system off, all these lights will come off, but actually the power is still going. And that, you might think, well, that's not important. But these 4 up here have fans built in, and they would run all week if you didn't do that. Now, these set of stage washes up here, as well as the 2 powers that shoot into the dome, are all part of DMX controlled power strips. So when I turn the signal off via DMX, these lose power as well. So they're also shut down, number 1, by signal, and 2, they actually lose their power. So the fans in those aren't running all week either, which is really nice. So what I've done is I've turned off these lights, and so there's still music, and maybe you can kind of hear it. You can see the TV still on over there with no signal. That is fine. A thing to do that, you know, when the volume's nice and quiet, you won't hear a lot out of this wedge. So I just go in the back and turn it off. At this point in the service, all the only lights we might have on are the stage wash lights and the dome lights to illuminate the room. And there's just a few people left, and they're kind of seeing themselves out. Then you're safe to turn on the PI system. Now, this is still getting signal. It's not loud enough to show the signal lights, but I can turn that off whilst music is playing. That is not a problem. That also lets us know, again, it's with the lights, it was a visual thing. With the sound, it's a hearing thing. And so that just lets us know the PA is off. And so because that's shut down, there was no bangs or hisses, you've heard a little bit of shoo. And that's just the residual coming out of the amps. So don't worry about that. They're old analog amps. They will do that. Then what you want to do is you're going to come to this cabinet, and you see the library lights are on, which are these guys here. They help me see when I'm working. And then there is the work lights, as I call them, on dimmers, are these 8 in the dome. And the 8 up there, they are not great lights. They have lots of shadows. They waste a lot of light bouncing up onto the ceiling. So, you know, there's some shadows you can see right there off them, and this is during the daytime. These are not lights you want on during service because they look ugly. Distracting, and they're a pain to replace. So the least we use them, the better. You don't want to go up on a ladder up there. So you can turn those on. And these are basically, you know, lock-up lights. They're, you know, get in, get out, clean up. So then what you can do, we'll close Spotify, and we'll hit like key, and we're just going to hit close. And you'll have heard, and you'll have seen the dome lights turn off, as well as the stage wash. Now, there is a single dome light coming from this power right here, but the other 2 that are much closer and much brighter are off. So now that that's off, what you can do is just shut down this computer. Shut down. And it's done. And then what you want to do is turn off the 6-gang extension up here. And that turns off everything on this toy truss, as well as the TV, the light shining up there, and this monitor right here, the all-important monitor. And the reason you want to turn that off first is so you don't get a pop in the monitor. Then you have almost everything off. The last thing to do is to come down below and turn the rack off. Now you're ready. You have all your stage lights off, all your show lights off. You have house lights on, or work lights as I like to call them. And you're ready to then go out, lock up, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Okay, so thanks for watching. This is a walkthrough of how to power things on and power things off. You can scrub back to any point in the video if you want to rewatch anything. There was obviously a startup process and a shutdown process. They are similar, but they aren't necessarily the same. So just pay attention to that, and watch the videos and rewatch them if you need help again. And I'll see you in the next one.